This is Cable 18, the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.
Good evening and welcome to the West Report. I'm Melissa Bernstein.
And I'm Shari Botwin. Last Wednesday night, West held the annual Jazz Festival in the auditorium. 6 schools were featured in this exciting event. At the end of the evening, trophies were awarded in 3 areas, the 3 being overall performance, instrument sections, and individual soloists. Overbrook won outstanding overall performances, best trumpet section, and best trombone section. Pennsbury also won outstanding overall performance and best sax section and best rhythm section. Pennsauken won an excellent overall performance. Red Bank won a good overall performance. In individual soloist sections, Pennsbury won best sax and best rhythm. Overbrook won best trumpet and best trombone. Because West hosted the event, they performed, but they were not judged in the competition. For those of you who were not able to make it, here's a little taste of what you missed. Recently, Mr. Herb Fisher, an English teacher here at West, had his first book published. His new book is entitled Dr. Death, and Josh Cook had a chance to talk to him earlier today about it.
Well, thank you for being with us here this evening, Mr. Fisher. Your new book, Dr. Death, can you give us a little outline of it?
Yes, the book is written it's about a Vietnam vet by the name of Kyle Youngblood. And Kyle is he's just a regular homebody. He doesn't bother anybody. And one night, accidentally, he has an accident in a parking lot of a tavern. And he kills the son of a crime lord just by accident. And the boy's father comes after him and wants to kill him and his family. And it's a story of a man fighting against almost impossible odds and winning out in the end. This is the kind of book that I tried to write. I tried to make it exciting enough.
What inspired you to write this kind of book?
Well, in essence, it sounds funny, but in a paperback of this type, men's action, or I call it men's, but most of the women that have read it so far have liked it very much. The thing that inspired me mostly is I try to get a message across that when your back is to the wall and things look bleakest, that to fight as hard as you can and you can win out in the end. Just that last bit of energy, that last bit of strength. That's the kind of guy my hero is in the book.
Well, are you planning to write any more books?
I'm sorry to cut you off. I have a second book in New York at the present time. It's based on the same character. It's a sequel to this book. And they asked me if I could write 2 books a year as a possible series down the line.
That's great.
So, they've accepted the second book, and hopefully it should be out, within the next 6 months.
Fantastic. Do you think there's any possibility that there might be a movie deal in this book?
Yeah, Berkeley, the publisher, is working on a movie deal right now with a West Coast producer, and it looks pretty good. It looks very promising. What they do is they try to get money. They take the book around or the screenplay, and they try to get money from different angels, so to speak, that put money into the project. And if they can do that, they'll put a package together, and hopefully it'll get on the. That's where the real money is in the movie rights.
All right, well, thanks a lot for being here with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Remember, Dr. Death by Herb Fisher.
Every year, a special group of West seniors is inducted into the West Hall of Fame. With a look at this year's upcoming Hall of Fame assembly, here's Sandy Dorsey.
February 9th brings forth the 27th Annual Hall of Fame Assembly. The Hall of Fame represents the dedication that certain students have given West during their 4 years of high school. This senior event was introduced 27 years ago in 1961 by Dr. Robert E. Hanson, the first principal of Delaware Township High School, which later became Cherry Hill High School and is now known as Cherry Hill High School West. This award is the highest honor that faculty and students together can give a graduating senior. The selection process started in early January when senior homerooms nominated members of the class of 1988 who they felt were outstanding. These names were collected, and those students who had more than one nomination were listed on ballots which were given to every senior and faculty member. These votes accounted for 25% of the total possible points. The other areas were class rank 25%, academic achievement 25%, and extracurricular activities, also 25%. The 11 students last year who received the highest total points in the combined categories were Andrew Albrecht, Danielle Baker, Craig Gottlieb, Wendy English, Brian Stigler, Josh Stern, Terrence Ferguson, Adam Lifshee, Joanne Tarak, Jennifer Wu, and Chris Marino. The names of the inductees will be held in strict secrecy until next Tuesday morning of the ceremony. One teacher of each of the 10 students with whom the student had a good relationship with will proudly announce the inductee's name. For now, we'll wait and see who the 9 lucky inductees are. Good luck to all nominees. And now here's TJ Locke with the sports.
Thanks, Melissa. The big story this week, West beats crosstown rival Cherry Hill East in basketball. For the complete story, we go to Jody Fisher. Jody?
Well, TJ, it was a very good win for the Cherry Hill West Lions. Final score 79-75 in favor of West. There were some tight spots in the game. East seemed to go down by 10 and then come right back and tie it. There were a few times in the game which that happened. But West held on, never lost the lead past the first quarter, and they held on for the victory. What do you think about it, Adam?
Well, I just like to point out a few of the leading scores. Brian Spell with leading score for West with 19 points. Alex Sturm with 18 points. Scott Riley with 11 points. Scott Riley, near the end of the game, made some beautiful free throwing throughout the whole game. I think was a key. It was almost like it's better than some NBA games, I would have to say. The free throwing was almost flawless.
And also the key, in the first half, Brian Spell was a little cold, to say the very least. He scored most of his 19 points in the first half, in the second half, rather. Jim Reeler had 10 points at halftime and really helped the West offense stay in the lead throughout the second quarter. So all in all, Sturm was a force on the boards.
That's right, and I was really surprised that, using basketball obviously is a 5-person team. They only use basically 7 players throughout the entire game.
Yeah, they do have the talent on the team. Jason Chambers also pitched in with 2. Dave Miller had 4, and Dave Cohen made 2 clutch free throws. So for Adam and I'm Jody Fisher, the final score here at the East Gym, 79 for West, and East came in with 75.
Thanks, Jody. On Saturday, the Lady Lions defeated previously unbeaten Bishop Eustace 57-50. Beth Dorenzo scored 28 points, and the remainder of the team, Liz Tercy, Jen Dorenzo, Chris Sabina, Sandy Duda, and Kathy Emerson, played tremendous games. The wrestling team rushed against 3 other teams in the quad meet last Saturday. They finished second as they were led by senior Jamie Jamerson, who recorded 3 pins against strong competition. West wrestlers defeated highly regarded Eastern and Camden Catholic high schools. The swimming team ran its record to an incredible 15-1 with big wins over Triton and Kingsway high schools. The big swimmers were Ken Leibel, Kevin King, and Eldwin Santana. Congratulations to all the West sports teams.
Last Wednesday, Mrs. Katz officially presented West custodial staff with the keys to a brand new Ford 1988 diesel truck. The truck will be used for plowing the parking lots, which will enable the staff to get a head start on clearing the lots without relying on central administration for assistance. According to the custodial staff, there is still a great need for a salt spreader to aid in sanding the lots for the safety of students and teachers. This Friday, the International Thespian Society will host its annual one-act play festival, in which each class will have the opportunity to present a one-act play. The freshman play is entitled Wanted Dead or Alive and will be directed by Bridget McMullen. The sophomore play, entitled The Dear Departed, is being directed by Mark Snyderman. The juniors will present Louder, I Can't Hear You, directed by Stacy Kleiner. And the seniors will perform The Tangled Snarl, directed by Greg Malatsky. Come out and support your class this Friday, February 5th, at 7 p.m. in the auditorium.
Stay tuned tonight following the school news broadcast here on Cable 18 for the tape broadcast of the Cherry Hill West versus Cherry Hill East swim meet, which was held on Tuesday, January 19th. Thank you for watching the West Report. Tune in next week the same time. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to this Wednesday's February 3rd EastCast. We have been prevented from bringing you the news for the past 2 weeks due to technical difficulty and snow. So Rena Platt and I, Andrea Weinberg, wish to share some of East's recent accomplishments with you. Congratulations to senior Jason Alexander, who placed second for the county in the American Foreign Legion oratorical contests. Jason was edged out by last year's state winner from Bishop Eustace. Jason will receive a $250 scholarship for his excellence in political science and in oratory. We wish to also congratulate the participants of Lab Theater for their performances 2 weeks ago. Christy Knipe, Blake Lawett, Lisa Furman, Rich Pacala, and Fran Turner led the production of Get Bill Shakespeare Off the Stage. Stage manager Chrysalis Banyas was very pleased with the turnout and the success of the show. The SAD regional meeting will be held on February 9th. Around 25 other schools from the Delaware Valley will come to East to participate in the many workshops, discussion groups, and lectures. Chairpeople Michelle Simikowski, Fern Billow, Donna Campiglia, and Allison Blake anticipate a successful day to get the point across that drinking and driving don't mix.
Special thanks to the Foreign Language Department, who provided a Foreign Language Career Day on January 22nd. The purpose of the Career Day was to examine the ways in which foreign languages are used every day in many jobs. Some of the speakers included Dr. Cecilia Brisnahan, who is the director of a Spanish television show, John Giannotti, who spoke a foreign language used in the art world, Edward Bogus, a professional singer and voice teacher who demonstrated the need for foreign language in a musical career, and East Dr. John Obriza spoke of the value of languages in the classics, in education, and in life. Other speakers dealt with the use of language in the business world, in exchange programs, and in the field of translation. On Friday, East offered its second TGIF night to students. Over 150 students came to the cafeteria to enjoy the music, dancing, food, and activities offered by the Home and School Association and the East Liaison Committee. We wish to thank those who helped to bring about the second canteen. The Home and School Association shares the students' concerns that there is a place for them to meet and to have fun in the community. We look forward to the next TGIF night and hope that more students will attend to show their support of this fine undertaking. East Business students have a chance to compete regionally and statewide through the FBLA, the Future Business Leaders of America. Senior Susan Foster has just been notified that she placed 5th in the state in the job interview category. Only 12 from the entire state are chosen for this competition and recognition. Recently, Becky Aspen placed 4th in accounting, and Mindy Schwartz placed 6th for business calculations in the South Jersey regional competition. 7 of East students will participate in the state finals April 14th and 15th in Great Gorge, New Jersey. Joining Susan, Becky, and Mindy will be Sandra Parker, Daniela Tobre, Anu Gouda, and Raquel Cruz. They will also compete in business law, computer concepts, and impromptu speaking. Nikki Patel was able to learn a little more about the competitions and Becky and Mindy's future plans.
Mindy, what exactly were the requirements for this competition?
You had to have a willingness to be in business and also be enrolled in a business course, at least one business course, and be enrolled in the grades of 7 through 12.
Okay, and exactly how competitive was this?
It was very competitive. There were schools from all over South Jersey, and because of the number of events and people, they limited to 2 entries per school per event.
Okay, and what exactly was your task?
I entered in business math, which is like loans, insurance, business records, which would consisted of a 1-hour test with 60 questions.
Okay, and I understand you've also entered in a competition. What exactly was your task?
I was in the Accounting 1 competition, and it consisted of a 1-hour test dealing with the principles and concepts of accounting.
Okay, and what career goals do you have for the future?
I plan on going to college and majoring in paralegal, which is like a legal's assistant, which helps the lawyer in his tasks.
Okay, and what do you plan to do for the future?
And I also plan to go to college, and I'm going to major in accounting and hopefully someday get my CPA.
Okay, thank you very much, Mindy and Becky. This has been Nikki Patel for EastCast.
The lip sync show was held 2 weeks ago with a tremendous turnout. The top 4 groups were given cash awards. First place was given to The Wanderers, which was comprised of Amy Dribbin, Linda Malady, Mimi Zlatkowski, and Matt Markoff, as they did their version of It's All for the Best from Godspell. After a successful lip sync evening, students can now look ahead to this Friday's Battle of the Bands. Some performing bands include Deceiver, Asylum, Guess Who, MC Squared, 200 Proof, Makeshift, and Green Eggs and Ham. Admission is $3 at the door. Auditions for the variety show were held Monday night. The list will be posted sometime this week across from the Student Congress Room. If your tastes run in another direction, then maybe our next interview will interest you. 12 Months of East Men. 12 different Cherry Hill hunks staring out at you from the pages of this year's Men of East calendar. Junior Lauren Brandt discussed the calendar with committee members Emily Lines and Krista Reddy.
Since I'm a junior, I was just wondering, see, we'll probably do this next year. How did you ever choose the 12 guys?
Well, we asked all of the senior girls who they thought would be, great to have in our calendar, and we just narrowed it down to the 12 most appealing.
Thanks. And is there a theme to the pictures?
Well, after we chose the guys, we decided, what their theme would be, like whether they play a sport or their hobby. Like Bob Ellis plays football, so we put him in a football month and stuff like that.
Thanks. And how do you think of the final result?
I think it's a great idea. It turned out really well, and I think it's a tradition that should be carried out at East. A really fine one.
And how do you feel about it?
I'm really pleased with the results. They're selling really well.
Oh, good. Well, if you'd like to have one of these calendars, they're on sale in the grade level office, and they cost only $6. This has been Lauren Brandt with Emily Lyons and Krista Reddy for EastCast.
Congratulations to negative varsity debate team members Manish Butte and Ted Fisher, who beat Shawnee in their last match. This year's issue is U.S. involvement in Latin America. So far, this year's teams are doing well, with Scott Angstreich and Michael Furlanetto 3-0, Larry Zazzo and Jason Alexander 2-1, Manish Butte and Ted Fisher 2-1, and Darshak Sangavi and Ravi Goel 1-2. Good luck in your future matches. The boys basketball team has been having a very successful season. On January 16th, they beat Pennsauken 78-63. Mike McLaughlin scored a career high of 33 points to lead the Cougars. On January 23rd, the boys fought hard but lost to Woodrow Wilson 82-72 in overtime. Glenn Foley was the high scorer for East with 25. Last Friday night, the Cougars beat Edgewood 91-73. Glenn Foley once again exploded with 5 3-point shots to contribute to his 37-point performance. Other high scorers were Mike McLaughlin with 17 and Dave Stewart with 18. We remind everyone to come out and support the team at their next home game tomorrow night at 7:15 against Overbrook.
The girls' swim team was on a hot streak with a win over Lawrenceville 92-78 and also a win over Vineland 90-82. Their record was raised to 6-1. Unfortunately, the girls lost to second-ranked Petty School 107-65. Deidre Lynch was East's only triple winner. East's boys' swim team defeated West 110-62. Pat Mead received 3 first places in men's relay, backstroke, and free relay. Bill Fulton also came in first 3 times. Good swims were also registered by Perry Wasserloff, Greg Gooch, and John Shallow. We will bring you this match tonight on Cable 18 following the junior high school news.
That's all for tonight's edition of EastCast. We would like to thank Mr. Gordon Hampson, cameraman, Miss Peggy Beck, advisor, and Jeff Kahn and Aaron Barbarics, assistant cameramen. Stay tuned for the East-West boys swimming tonight after the news. For Andrea Weinberg, this has been Rena Platt. This week, Ophelia was off the wet roads modeling her new rain gear. Good night, Ophelia.
Hi, I'm Karen Weinberg, and this is Carusi News. Well, it's that time of the year again. Report cards are going to be issued out to the students tomorrow, Thursday, February 4th, and all students will be crossing their fingers because the following day, Friday, February 5th, Carusi will hold its Valentine's Day dance. And if you don't do well on your report card, guess who's not going to go to the dance? Admission will be $2 plus ID, and refreshments will be sold in the cafeteria. Along with the dance, a movie, Amazing Grace and Chuck, will be shown in room C4. The American Liberty Association is sponsoring a Why I Love My Library contest that could win you money for loving your library. To enter the contest, all you have to do is write a 1-page, 100-word maximum essay or poem about why you love your library. Give it to Mrs. Brown by February 11th. Our school winner receives $25. You can then go on to be one of the national winners. First place receives $100, second place $75, and third place $50. And now, making his debut on Carusi News, here's David back with the sports report. David?
Thank you, Karen. Last Tuesday, an outstanding team effort by the girls' 8th grade basketball team led them to a win in a tough game against Morristown. Final score is 18-15. The boys' side of our varsity team played a game that was far from tough. They beat Morristown by a score of 49-24. They started out with a good first quarter and never lost their lead to end up with a 25-point victory. Walt Clymer had a game of 14 points. Dan Farling also had a good game. He scored 6 points, played good defense, and was named the game's MVP. Carusi's 7th grade boys had a hard game, losing to Morristown by a score of 36-29. A poor performance in the first quarter had the Mini Mustangs in a hole from the start. They outplayed Morristown in the last 3 quarters, but the initial deficit was too much to overcome. The leading scorer of the game was Jeremy Sunkett with 20 points. The 7th grade girls team also lost to Morristown. The victory could have been theirs if it had not been for a disastrous second quarter in which they were outscored 14-1. The final score is 23-17. Carusi's 7th grade boys raised their record to 4-3 by defeating Haddon Heights on Friday by a score of 29-20. Fine defensive efforts by the Mini Mustangs in the first and third periods held Haddon Heights to a total of 3 points. Carusi's 8th grade Lady Mustangs lost to Christ the King on Monday, 38-29. The 7th grade girls basketball team broke 2 streaks yesterday, and it would be difficult to say which one of them was more important. They defeated Christ the King in overtime by a score of 24-18. This was their first win and snapped a 5-game losing streak. At the same time, they removed Christ the King from the list of undefeated, as the loss was the first one for Carusi's opponent. Last Tuesday, Carusi's wrestling team wrestled Paulsboro and lost by a score of 52-40. Carusi jumped out in front in the beginning, but Paulsboro pulled away with a win. On Friday, the team won their meet by a score of 72-12 against Indian Mills. This past Monday, Carusi's wrestling team easily defeated our arch rival Beck by a score of 84-9. And that's all sports for today. Back to you, Karen.
Thank you, David. What a great way to start at Carusi News. The Social Studies Department has recently introduced a new feature in the morning announcements, World News Today. Our 7th grade students are going to be reading about and researching daily news events and then reporting them to our student body over the intercom system. These announcements will keep everyone informed about the changing world. Members of World News Today are Drew Rabin, Derek Rayner, Jennifer Dallow, Pat Dunn, Noel Barbera, Melissa Holtzman, Samara Aberman, Amy Stoner, Mary Ballas, Amy Zalkman, Wesley Tudor, Ann Weisk, Tonya Boyles, and Eric Shaw. Let me tell you about a really important week. Well, if you haven't realized it yet, Spirit Week is only a month and a half away, during the week of March 13th. As you know from my interview with Mr. Golden, this year's theme is Carusi Cruises the Caribbean. It's moving along very well. Tomorrow is an 8th grade lip sync meeting in room B5 at 8:40, and on Friday there's a 7th grade lip sync meeting in room C14 at 8:40. And now here's Aviva Kushner with the special days of the month. Aviva?
Thank you, Karen. The month of February started off with Groundhog's Day. The theory is that if the groundhog comes out of his hole and sees his shadow, he becomes scared and runs back in, which means 6 more weeks of winter. But if he comes out and it's a cloudy day, he doesn't see his shadow, then that means that spring is near. This Friday, February 5th, is Carusi's Winter Valentine Dance. It's going to be lots of fun, so be there. And don't forget to bring your sweetie. Next Friday, February 12th, is Abraham Lincoln's birthday. He was our 16th president who made an end to slavery. School is closed for Friday. And the following Monday, we are off for Washington's birthday. That isn't really his birthday, but we used the Monday holiday bill, and school is also closed. How could I forget about Valentine's Day, February 14th, everyone's favorite holiday. Thank you, staff artists, for drawing such a nice rendition of Cupid. Also on that day, February 14th, Arizona and Oregon were admitted. Arizona in 1912 and Oregon in 1859. They must be beautiful states to have been admitted on Valentine's Day. In the middle of the week, in the 3rd week of February, is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent. We also have 2 birthdays to announce this month. February 19th, a Friday, is Melissa Cano, one of our Carusi staff members' birthday. Happy birthday! And the 21st is another birthday of a Carusi staff member, Candace Fisher. In honor of those 2 birthdays, we're off. Not just because of their birthdays, but because it's Sunday. Once every 4 years, we add an extra day to February. I won't be seeing this day again until I'm a senior in high school. Well, February is a short month, so that's it. Back to you, Karen.
Here's a flash of Eva. Yesterday was a cloudy day, and Punxsutawney Phil didn't see a shadow, so that means we're going to have an early spring. Congratulations to Joy Lowe, who won the Carusi Inquirer Spelling Bee. She wins $50 from the John O'Brien Memorial Fund and now goes on to a 2nd round of competition. Runners-up were Nathan Watson, 2nd place, and Robert Wagner in 3rd place. Lastly, I'd like to mention something new at Carusi. As you're driving to school, take a look at the front of the building, and you'll notice that our school is identified. We finally have our sign up, Carusi Junior School. And that's it for this week's Carusi News. Be sure to watch us next week for our Valentine's Day special. I'm Karen Weinberg. Good night.
This is Cable 18, the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.